Hey everybody, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is March 16th, 2016. It is a Wednesday. We are in the middle of spring break here. I have one well kid and one sick kid who has been sick since the Sunday afternoon, last Sunday. So this is day number 4. Fever, upset stomach. He woke me up yesterday morning at 1:45 in the morning. No fun. So yesterday was a very long day for me. A very long and unproductive day, except for lots of knitting. So it just depends on your definition of productive, right? So anyway, I hope that y'all are well, that if you're not on spring break, that you are just having fun doing what you love, whether that's work or play, or that your play after work is good. My name is Diane, and you can find me as DBB Stitch on Ravelry and Suburban Stitcher on Instagram. I have a Ravelry group for the Suburban Stitcher podcast, and please go over there and join. This podcast can be found on iTunes and on YouTube, so if you're watching, obviously it's one of those places. Subscribing on YouTube certainly is helpful. That allows you to, it allows me to kind of know who is watching where. I still think that I have more of my viewers over on iTunes, but I'm not really certain. So I still think that I do, though. So I think that's all of the things. Anything you can find me all of the places, and if you want to know where you can find me, the best place is to go to my website, www.suburbanstitcher.com. That has links up at the top right-hand corner to all of the websites, all my shop, everything you could possibly imagine. And I'm doing this because I think it's going to reverse, but I don't know. So anyway, let's get to not introductions, shall we? Announcements this week. I just want to say thank you. I have had just a lot of sweet comments from people lately. I, as always, want to thank everybody who watches me. If you're first time, thank you so much for stopping over here. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I think this is episode 84, so this is amazing. I think that this year, I have to look, I can't remember if this is 2 or 3 years of me podcasting, which is kind of bad that I can't remember, but I think this will be year 3 coming up in August. Maybe just year 2. I don't remember. Anyway, it's been a while, and I'm so grateful to all of you. Can't remember a time in the last several years that there have been as many new podcasts as there are right now. There are a ton of people in that 1 to 15 episode range of podcasts right now. So I've enjoyed a few of those. I will maybe list a few of them in my show notes this week for the ones that I've really enjoyed and that I find special. I value your time, which is why I try to keep my episodes short. So that being said, let's move right along. So that's thank yous in general. I also specifically want to thank you, and this is belated, and I'm so sorry. I want to thank Holly, who is Lupin Owns Jacob on Ravelry. She gifted me the Chelsea Beach pattern that she just designed. And I'm going to attempt to show you this picture. You know, I got all fancy and got everything queued up so that you could see it. And of course, I think that it's going to be funky. Yeah, you're just going to see reflections of everything. I will insert a picture somewhere into the screen, but the pattern is called Chelsea Beach. It is a gorgeous lace well, it's lace weight or fingering weight or DK weight. So it's written in 3 different weights of yarn. You can, use whatever you have in stash. You can use it to make this shawl. But it's the same pattern. It's got some textured stitches and looks like maybe a little eyelet edge or something at the bottom, and it sort of ruffles, almost maybe like a ruffled I-cord. Not really sure, but it's a beautiful, beautiful edge, a beautiful shawl. It would be great to use whatever you already own. So thank you, Holly, so much. I love this, and I really have a couple of great ideas for some yarn that I have in stash that I think would work quite well. So the other exciting thing is that she has given a copy for me to give away. So I will open up a thread in this week's podcast, or in the podcast group. I will leave it up for a week or two. Just sort of depends on my taping schedule over the next 2 or 3 weeks are going to be really hit or miss. But sometime in the next couple of weeks, I will close this and then we'll do a giveaway. But I would love for you to tell me what yarn that you already own in your stash. What yarn would you use to knit one of these shawls? And it can be lace weight, fingering weight, or DK weight, because she has the conversion for all 3 weights. The other great thing that I love about this pattern, and just by flipping through it, is that it is that percentage system that is so helpful. So every single step of the way, within, you're 5% done with the shawl, you're 10% done with the shawl, you are 20% done with the shawl, all of that, so that when you're getting down to 80%, if you know that you have less than 80% of, or that you have less than 20% of your yarn to go, you're going to be in trouble. So I love that. It's very helpful. So in the thread, you just need to tell me what yarn you would use that you already own to knit the shawl. So that is the Chelsea Beach shawl by Holly Dapp. And that's Lupin Owns Jacob on Ravelry. I also want to thank Kino Knits, who gifted me the Marabou pattern on Ravelry. We will be having a giveaway for that one at a later date, but I just wanted to say thank you so much, and that will be forthcoming. So I am so just amazed at the generosity of designers, of yarn dyers, of companies, in general, that will send things to me to review. I have a book review coming up in a little bit this episode that I am super duper excited about. So I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you to the community in general, to people that are in the fiber industry, whether it be designing, dyeing, making things of any sort. It is amazing. It's an amazing community, right? Okay, so this week I have no finished objects, which doesn't really surprise me. I have been hit or miss as far as the knitting time, and when I have had knitting time, I have had 2 projects that I'm working on. So I will tell you about what I'm drinking in my Queen Bee mug that I love. I just love this one. Because I'm kind of like in your face with the Queen Bee-ness in my house. I tell my husband, people are like, oh, you need to have a girl. You just have boys. You need to have a girl. I said, no, I'm the Queen Bee, and there is no room in this kingdom for princesses. Just the queen. Anyway, that probably doesn't make everybody laugh, but I think it's hilarious because I'm the queen. Okay. Anyway, I have been working on my March socks for the Desert Vista Dye Works Club. I don't remember if I had cast this on last week or not, but this is the first sock. This yarn is Desert Vista Dye Works, of course. Desert Vista Dye Works, the Viso base. Oh, that's the Viso base, and it is Zombody Go Bra. The Viso base is the one that has Stellina. No, this can't be Viso because this is This has to be like the ZN, I think, is maybe what this base is. Because this has stellina. So it's the right colorway, the wrong. Anyway, but I think it's called ZN, but the colorway itself is called Zombody Go Bra, and it is on the stellina base. You can see it's pretty sparkly. You can see it there, sparkling away. I knit this top down. I did about 18 rounds of ribbing, which worked out to about 1 repeat right there. I knit to where just before the heel, it was 4 inches. So technically, this right there is the beginning of the heel flap. This is a fish lips kiss heel, so that's sort of the beginning of the short row fish lips kiss heel. So there to there is 4 inches. Susan's rules for this knit along is that the leg has to be at least 3 inches. And I just know this month, getting ready for DFW, I just need all the time sewing that I can get. And with the other knitting commitments that I have on my needles right now. So I chose to do just barely skating by, which I really feel like I'm cheating, but I'm not. Technically, the rules say that this is fine. And I wore the only other pair of socks that I have that are sort of this shorty, not quite an ankle sock, but just a little bit higher than an ankle. And I really like them, especially in Texas. Like, it keeps my feet warm, which is perfect. I have tile floors all over my house, so it's nice to keep my feet warm, but it also isn't hot on my leg, if that makes sense. So that is the first sock. And I have, this is in my leprechaun, I forget what the yarn was called, Lucky Leprechaun maybe, kit that we did last year. I did this with Vanessa Mustache yarn and myself. And so this is the bag for that last year. I just love it with the little leprechauns. And I have this little thing in a minute. I've started the second sock, and I am just right now at the point where I will be starting the Fish Lips Kiss heel on this one. And we have plans to watch the Rockets basketball game tonight. We're not going to the game, but it's family basketball night at my house. It's always family sports night of some sort here, whether it's playing it or watching it. But the Rockets game is on tonight, so it'll be perfect position for me to just sit and knit and really get this knocked out. I don't know that I'll have it done tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day, but I've got other St. Patrick's Day socks from last year, so that's fine. I did get, and this is a Hello Lovely from this week, technically. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer to y'all without totally making everything go crazy. I did get this super cute cupcake stitch marker from Sucra Miniatures. And as you can see, oh my gosh, this yarn is just everywhere. Okay, so it is a cupcake, a green cupcake. It has this little candy rainbow, it's like sitting in the little clouds right there, and then a little pot of gold underneath the rainbow. So cute. She put on Instagram that she was going to do she was thinking about doing one, and I was like, well, if you do, I want it. And I emailed her right away and was like, I will take a special order. I really want this. And she said she had so many requests that she just made it a thing in the shop. And I snagged one right away, and I'm so happy that I did. So I now I think have 4 of her cupcakes. So I just love them. I think those are my favorite things that she does, are the cupcakes, and I want to collect them. My boys are just playing in the street right now, and my window looks out to my front yard, and I just love, it's a beautiful day. It's not too hot. It's overcast, so it's protecting, it's a little humid, but it's, protecting us from the heat of the sun, because it is quite warm. It's already, really in the 80s. I think later this week, maybe this weekend, it's supposed to be close to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just so hot for March, but oh well. So that's my first work in progress. That should be done most definitely by the next podcast. Oh, and I said I will talk about this in a minute, so I'm going to keep this out. But I just had to pair these together, right? Because it's shamrocks and rainbows. So, seemed very seasonally appropriate to me. The next work in progress is in my bag that we got as a gift at the Hill Country Weaver Knitting in the Hills retreat. I like big balls and I can't run. I think it's so funny. This is, I am almost positive that I alluded to this cast on last week. It is a shawl by Joji Locatelli that I am testing, and it has a pretty quick turnaround time. It's got to be done by the end of this month. Woo! Sorry, just kicked y'all and almost completely splashed my tea everywhere. So here, this is one I can show you. It is not a secret. This is the shawl. So you can see I love her picture with her and her mother. But it is really, really a big shawl. 2 colors, 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. And I love it. I was really excited that she asked if I could test this one because it's very, it's the style that I like to wear. It is asymmetrical, but it makes sense. I guess is the best way to say that. I showed you a couple of choices last week, and I ended up going with, you can see I'm down to definitely less than 50 grams. The 2 yarns that I went with are, this is Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Singles in the Film Noir colorway, and it is just a gorgeous single ply. Let's see if that'll focus. Maybe not. Maybe if I pull that out of the way. But it has pinks and grays and some like orangey, brassy colors in there, kind of all on this light ashy gray background. It's just beautiful. And the accent color is, I'm going to tell you this one right because this one I can never remember. Okay, so it's Fiber Story. Fiber Story 1 Silky is the base. It is a 70% superwash merino, 30% silk. This one is 100% merino. But this one is silk and merino single. And put this in here before I lose it. So those are my 2 colors. And I think they go quite well together. This one has a little more, it's a little bit lighter than this darkest gray brown that's in there, but I think they work quite well. They're very Diane, wouldn't you say, Hoey? They're very Diane colors, for sure. So, without further ado, let me see if I can show you how this is looking. Okay, so this is the front. And it is asymmetrical, so you can see that I started here. And then here, this is the side, kind of where these little contrasting stripes begin, and then the sections get wider and wider. Does that make sense at all? I think this may be one of those ones that doesn't make sense until it's blocked. But you can see those little contrast stripes. They're like little, kind of like little eyelet stripes because there are holes there. But yeah, I'm just really, really loving this. I love the way that the hedgehog is knitting up. I knew, yeah, there's a good representation of the colors. I knew that I was going to love this colorway. I just knew that I was. I love it even more knit up. It's so pretty. So I have one more wedge of, you know, kind of one more of these short row wedges right here, and then I will be on the, yeah, okay, so I have to knit this last one. So from Hohi's hand right there over, that's what I have left to knit. So I've knit there over. I have to knit this last hedgehog wedge, and then the contrast wedge at the bottom, and that's it. And it's going, it literally flies. I've worked on this for less than a week, and it is just flying off my needles. It's so fun to work on. The pattern is written so well. I'm really, really loving this knit so much. So that is fun, and that's really all I've worked on. I've been quite good since these are my kind of deadline knittings for March. That's all I've worked on, and I have done a lot of sewing. So, oh, the other thing, I can't remember which podcast was doing this, but I want to play along. I don't remember who, is it the Grocery Girls? Can't remember. I think it was, where they were showing their notions bag and what they have in their notions bag, and I thought that was really fun. I have nothing special really in my notions bag, except for my notions bag itself that I love. It's this bright gold lame, like crinkly, awesome, flashy bag from Hedgehog Fibers. I got it on my last order from them, and I just love it. And it's a good size. I've got some room still, but it, you know, it squishes, and I can throw it in the bag, and then I pull it out, and it just looks awesome. It will never get mistaken as anyone else's, right? Okay, so in my bag, I have gum, because gum. I have some business cards, because you never know when someone is going to say, oh my gosh, I love that project bag or that little tote that you're using. Where did you get it? Bam. So, you know. I have scissors, some regular little 4-inch like embroidery snips. I think that I got these from the Loopy U like years ago, I think. I have an extra needle case from Michelle at Studio in the Green. I have 2 different sizes of crochet hooks, one that is a little bit thinner, not quite little enough for beading, but good for picking up yarn, and then I have a little bit bigger one. So those stay in there. I have a tape measure, also from the Loopy U. So you never know when you're going to need that. I have about $1 and change at the bottom. Again, most of my on-the-go away knitting is done at the baseball fields, and you just never know when you are going to need some change. So I won't show you the spare change, but I probably have about, I don't know, maybe $1 or $2 down in the bottom there. I have, oh my gosh, I'm trying to pick these things up because some of these things fell out. I have a Ziploc bag, and I need to get a better container for these, but it is a bag just full of various stitch markers. So there are some that are, you know, fancy, like that little smiley face. There are some that are these little pens, which are my favorite. Those little like light bulb shaped pens. I have some of these little, those rings kind, like that. So just an assortment of various types of stitch markers. I have chopstick of one kind. I have another kind of chopstick because I don't really know why. I actually was looking for this by my sewing machine the other day, so I need to pull it back out because it lives by my sewing machine. I have a Lolo sample lotion thing that I just put this one in here. This one was from Amber Yarn Hoarder. So I've got this. I have, the last thing is I have this chibi container with some needles, various sizes. I think I just dropped one. There we go. Various sizes of darning and sewing needles. So that's it. That's what's in my notions bag. Pretty standard, I think. don't think there's anything too weird in there. Maybe the gum, maybe that's weird to some people, but you know, sometimes you just gotta have fresh breath. That is what's in my notions bag. I just thought that was a fun little segment. And I would love to see other people, maybe you already have, maybe I have missed your podcasts where you talked about them, but I just thought that was really fun. One of the really cool parts of the class that I took with the Yarn Harlot is that she showed what was in her notions bag that she carries around with her everywhere, and similar things, but some very different things as well. So it kind of makes me think I need to add a few of those in there. Okay, so that is it for this week. Hello Lovelies this week. I showed you the Sucra Sucra miniatures, the little St. Patrick's Day charm. I got this necklace that I absolutely love. These are lava beads, which hold essential oils on them. You can just dab a little bit of essential oils on there. And maybe it's mind over matter, maybe it's kitschy, maybe it's working, maybe it's not, but I loved the idea of it. I could probably really saturate them and, you know, really get some oil in there. And I can go like this and smell it. Right now I have peace and calming. Just certainly what I need. But I just really, really liked it. I love the simple, just the very simple design. It's very understated. So that was exciting. And then the last thing that came this week that is actually yarn related is I scored some lollipop yarn. Oh. I have not made it on a lollipop update, and I don't even know how long. I mean, seriously. This colorway is called La Dolce Vita, and it is on the Gripes base, which is the sport weight. I wanted it on the fingering weight, but that one sold out too quick for me. So I got the Gripes base, but I'm also very excited to try this one. It looks really just a tiny bit thicker. But enough to where I could probably knit a 56 stitch sock, which awesome, because I'm normally 64 stitches, so I bet I can knit a 60 inch. So the striping sequence goes, it's a regular rainbow, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, but it has this pink stripe in between all of the colors. So, and then it also, as you can see, has this coordinating heel and toe, and if you wanted, cuff skein. So super duper excited that I got this. It's been years since I was able to get any lollipop yarn, so I'm very excited. So that is Hello Lovelies. I would like to go now, and seeing as I couldn't show you the picture before, I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting in of pictures so that you can see all of the beautiful things that I'm talking about. But I am going to be talking about a book that is a collection of patterns that is releasing tomorrow as far as the digital release. So the pattern book that I am talking about, and I'm so sorry that I'm pausing here, but I want to get right to the spot. Okay, so this is called Coffee with Cece, and it is a collection by the designer Cece Allman, who is Java Pearl Designs. I bet if I had closed my, there you go, you can sort of see her pretty face there with her bright pink hair. But I have just had the pleasure of getting to know Cece in virtual world, obviously, because she lives in Edinburgh, Scotland. Bucket list. She used to live in Houston, which I think is just so cool. So I am so honored that she asked me to review this book, and I will say that I am just biased to thinking that she is awesome. So I'm coming at this review with my I already love you bias. So there you go. Full disclosure. This is a pattern collection with 7 caffeine-inspired knitting projects. The first project in this book is called, let me get there, French Vanilla Cappuccino. And it is a great beginner vanilla, quote unquote, because everybody just, I think we use that word vanilla sock. And really what that means is it's a plain stockinette. And you throw in your choice of toe, your choice of heel, your choice of cast on. But it is a basic vanilla sock. And she has provided her pattern, her recipe for her vanilla socks. And she has called that, again, the French Vanilla Cappuccino socks. The one thing that I love about this pattern is that it's not just cast on 64 stitches, knit a 2x2. I mean, it's not, it is that, but it's so much more. She tells you how to measure your foot. She tells you where to measure your foot, which is very important. She tells you how to look at your toes and decide maybe this is the kind of toe that you need to be doing. How to do your foot length, how to do your measure your leg and your calf, where you might want to, if you're wanting to knit a taller sock, maybe you need to put in some shaping here or there. So it's very, very informative. And if you are a beginning sock knitter, this is a great pattern to look at to get all of those details that perhaps we assume that you know in any other beginner vanilla, quote unquote, vanilla sock pattern. So this is great. It has all of really the resources that you need. The other wonderful thing about it is she has written it toe up and top down. So whichever way you prefer to knit a sock, you can knit it that way that feels most comfortable to you, which is fabulous. The second pattern is called Espresso Macchiato. This one is really unique to me. I love the eyelet rows that she has put in here, not something that you typically see in a sock. And it's funny because I right now I was just talking with a friend last night. I have this thing running around in my head, and I don't want to say a design because that word scares me, but I have this thing right now with eyelet rows, and I'm just really infatuated with them. So this one really stuck out to me. I love it. She uses a self-striping yarn, and she has chosen to highlight a particular color on the striping, and that's when she does her pattern. So I think that's brilliant. I love the idea. I would be interested to see how they wear in socks. I don't know if this is the kind of thing that would be a house sock, or excuse me, how they would wear in shoes. It would be interesting to know, but it would make an amazingly fun house sock, no doubt. And every single pattern in here is written toe up and cuff down. So you can make the same pattern either way, depending on however you feel the most comfortable knitting. The third sock pattern in here is one I love and I can see myself making very soon. It's called Peppermint Mocha Socks. And it is a slipped stitch pattern that kind of zigzags all the way around the sock. I love it. It is perfect for any kind of yarn, but would definitely showcase a speckled or patterned yarn. The fourth sock pattern is called Caramel Latte. This one is very reminiscent of, it's sort of like a Gansey sock to me. So it's got that, that look where, I'm assuming, where the purl bumps are making the design. So there's a few little bitty cables in there, but mostly this design is built on purl bumps and going back and forth. It's a great, it looks like it would be beautiful in a tweed yarn. I love the design. I think it would be fabulous. This one, in my opinion, you would need to do tweed, would probably be the most variegation that I would do. Something that is tonal for sure would work. That's what it's shown in this gorgeous caramel colored kind of tonal yarn. Excuse me, talking a lot, and I need my water for that, and my tea. The fifth pattern in this book is actually the shawl. So there are six socks patterns, and one shawl for the seventh pattern. Oh my gosh, tongue twister. So the shawl pattern I love. It's called the Coffee Date Shawl. And she said that her inspiration was because every coffee shop she's ever been to is freezing. And I have to agree with that. They are all just very cold. So she designed this shawl basically to use, it's quite large. It uses almost 1,200 yards, I believe, of a fingering weight yarn. And I want to go back to make sure that I'm telling you that correctly. Yeah, it uses 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn, approximately 436 yards a piece. So yeah, it's going to be, 12 to 1,300 yards. It is one of those where I like to call them kind of a sampler shawl, where you get different little sections and each section is a different color and you're doing a different thing. So you get to really work with the interplay of the colors, you get to try new stitches, you get new textures and things. I love the asymmetrical way that this one grows. And again, I will be inserting a picture, but there's kind of a textured rib, there's a eyelet section, there's garter rows, there are some slip stitches, there's just all sorts of fun things to really get you, kind of keep you moving through this pattern. The next sock pattern is called Strawberries and Cream Frappe Socks. This possibly is one of my favorite patterns for the socks. The yarn itself is gorgeous and it's a light pink, so go figure. But it has cables and it has textured sections, a little bit of, mostly those kind of pearl cabled little motifs on there. Again, it would be great with a tonal. It could be like a kettle dyed, like pretty variegated in its tonality, or pretty highly tonal, I guess is the best way to say that, where there's lots of difference between the lights and darks in that colorway. It would be just great for this one. I probably would not choose something that had lots of different colors in it, just because I think the pattern really would get lost in it. The last pattern, again, this is another one that I really love. It's called I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice Socks. And it is a gorgeous sock that has, and she's knit it with 2 skeins that are sort of, the socks are the inverse of each other. So one is sort of an orangey pumpkin color with brown heel-toe cuff, and then the other sock is the brown with orangey heel-toe cuff. So I love that. I think that's super fun and unique. It has this cable running up the middle of the sock that looks like pumpkins. So that would be a really fun cable, very different than I've seen before. It looks like a little pumpkin cable running up the middle, and then she's got some really unique ribbing patterns and things that kind of run around the rest of the sock. So it's the kind of thing that there's a little bit of stuff that you do kind of around, the more plain section of the sock. And then the business part, the part where you have to really pay attention to the cable and everything and to the pattern is just very, a small little section up the front. And then the rest of it would be easy to memorize, the repeat. I really, really love that one. So I am just really excited to review this with you. I think all of these are fabulous patterns to have in your library. It is 7 patterns. The ebook releases tomorrow, which is Thursday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I would say that it is a must get. If you think that you are going to knit, 2 or 3 of these patterns, then you've basically paid for the entire book. So go ahead and knit them. I know that Vegan Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast just reviewed this book as well, and she is doing, I don't know if it's official or unofficial, but she has said she wants to knit her way through this book this year. And I think that's a fabulous idea. So if that's something you're interested in, she is going to be having a little knit along in her group over on the Knitting Broomstick podcast group. So thank you, Cece, so much. I am going to have a really hard time deciding which I want to cast on first. Either those strawberry frappe socks, or that shawl. Ugh, but me and the shawls, right? Just love them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, of course, Cece has donated a copy of her book to be given to one of you as a giveaway on the show. So I will be opening a thread in the group this week for you to go over there and let me know which is your favorite pattern. I would love to see what you are drawn to and what you want to knit first. The book, again, is called Coffee with Cece. Let me just make sure that that is correct and I have not spoken out of turn. Yes, Coffee with Cece by Cece Almond, Java Pearl Designs. And so one of you will get to win a copy as well. I think that that is it for today. Oh, no, it's not. This is the part where I'm going to talk about my shop. So if you have no interest, and this is really less shop related and just more some new things that I'm working on and excited about having just sewn up, all of these things will be going to Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival. So if you are attending, this is the part where you need to tune in. And if you are not attending, any leftovers will be coming into my Etsy store in the beginning of April. Anything that doesn't sell. As always, you know, that's the normal thing for people. All right, so I have some new bag. These are all my zipper bags, and these are just a few of the patterns, few of the fabrics that I have kind of sewed a selection of. I'm going to have this one and some other kind of variations on this, but I just loved this. It's sort of this peachy pink, rosy pink little plus. I love the graphic, and then this newsprint, and it's all like quotes from artists and different makers of various things, most creative quotes. So I loved that. It has the newsprint drawstring, and then the lining is the little needle and thread, which is super cute. This one's just very soft and sweet. This was a custom request, actually, from a customer overseas, which I loved getting, and I loved making this, and it was so cute that I had to make a few more for the shop. So there will be some that look like this and some other variants on that same basic theme. And there will be some of these, which is an Amy Butler fabric from long ago, but I just love it. The inside has the red polka dots. And all of these are my small knitting bag. They do have the wristlet strap here that you can keep kind of on the D-ring, or you can put on the zipper and use as a zipper pull. So there will be some of those. There will be, I love this one. There will be some of these. This is a Tula Pink fabric that is super fun with the coordinating pull. The lining on this one is a pretty coordinating floral. There will be a few of these blue bonnets. It's for Texas, so I just loved that, and this little chicken wire fabric I just thought was really cute. The inside has this really sweet lining that talks about create and just different creative making quotes that were really fun. And then the last one that I'm going to show you today is this cute dog print that I thought was super fun. And the lining has the little paw prints. So all of those and many more will be at DFW. And then a new product that I am so excited to share with you is I am going to be making and debuting at DFW needle cozies. So this is the one that I sort of showed you I was using earlier. This one's mine. I won't be selling this one because it is used. But they will all have my tag, or most of them will have my tag on the side. But this can be used, as you saw, maybe. It can be used for DPNs, and they just snap in there, and then there's plenty of room to hold your project with your sock, hanging down in between these two. And your DPNs and any extra DPNs actually up in the top portion. Or it is also able to be used if you are magic looping, or if you're making a shawl and you're using circular needles in any capacity. So I open up, for when I'm using things on a circular, I open up the top, the side. See, there's 2 snaps on this side and only 1 snap right there. I open up the side that has 1 and just sort of slide them in there. I put the needles above the snap and then snap it closed, and it holds it like that. So, and they don't, I mean, you could really pull them out if you wanted to, but they hold pretty well. So that I'm really excited about. I love this product. So I feel really excited to be able to offer it to you. Finally, I've had so many requests for these, and I'm excited to have that as a new product offering at DFW. So some of the other patterns that you will see, I will have some of the rainbows. I will have some of these little coordinating puppy ones. So if you're getting a puppy bag, you can get a matching puppy needle case. I have, I think, just one or two of these bumblebees, which was a favorite fabric from last year. And then I have this really pretty Amy Butler print that's a purple. I've got a few of those, and a lot more planned. So really excited about that. Again, I will not be listing anything that you've seen in my shop. They will all be going to Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Festival, and then any leftovers will be coming to the shop, of course, the beginning of April. The DFW Fiber Fest is April 1st through the 3rd, I believe. March 31st is my birthday. March is my birthday month, and I feel like I have been celebrating for quite a little bit already, apparently, because I'm buying things like I can just spend all the money. I have some lovely things that will be coming over the next few weeks. I think I bought many of them in I was feeling sorry for myself because my kid is sick yesterday. So I have a few lovely things coming over the next couple of weeks. But March 31st is my birthday, so I'll actually be driving to Dallas and setting up on my birthday, which I love because I love to spend time with my friends, and to have that to be able to do and look forward to for my birthday every year is always a blast. And then April 1st through the 3rd, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is the actual festival. I will be in the Must Stash booth. So Suburban Stitcher does not have their own booth, but I am in the Mustache booth, helping her and then selling a few of my wares. So I hope that you come out and support Stacy and support me and come say hello. Please feel free to say hi. I will have buttons and pins and all sorts of fun things, and I just would really love for you to come say hello and for me to be able to give you a hug and put faces to names. And yeah, so that is it for this week. I am so sorry. I did not intend to talk this long. I didn't think I had this much content, but there you go. So thank y'all so much. Have a lovely week, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.